Believe it or not, the Bible, the holy book of Christians, is one of the ultimate guides to wealth creation. In its 66 books, there are thousands of verses talking about money, how to save it, how to manage it, and even how to make the right investments. And the amazing part is that they're completely timeless. Yep, you got that right. Despite the ancient texts being written centuries ago, the wisdom from their financial lessons is still ripe and applicable to this very day. Today, we'll be telling you 25 of our favorite timeless money lessons from the Bible that will change the way you view money, and if applied, will change your life story. Number 1. Spend less than you earn. There's a quote from the book of Proverbs that says, "Wealth quickly dwindles away, but amassed little by little, it grows." Spending less than what you earn sounds super easy on paper, but the truth is that a lot of people find it difficult to do so. And can you even blame them? We live in a world where wants never seem to end. Over the years, we've been taught that we can and should buy what we want and when we want, regardless of the consequences. But haven't we lost the sight of the bigger picture? If you keep spending beyond your means to satisfy your desires, how are you going to change your financial situation? There simply wouldn't be enough left to make investments, savings, or unplanned expenses. Number 2. Create a budget. This brings us to the need for creating a budget. It's simply the easiest way to curb your irrational expenses and keep your cash flow in check. Just think about the times that you've got to make it to the end of the month, only to find out that you wouldn't have enough money to make it to your next paycheck. Luke 14:28-30 says, "For which of you, intending to build a tower, does not sit down first and count the cost, whether he has enough to finish it, lest, after he has laid the foundation and is not able to finish, will he get mocked?" Failure to create a monthly budget is setting yourself up for failure. You've got to sit down, draw up a plan, and have the discipline to make it work. Number 3. You can never go wrong by saving. Hey, do you remember the story of Joseph in the Bible? He interprets a difficult dream for Pharaoh, revealing that there will be 7 years of bountiful harvests and good seasons, but with an interesting aftermath. After those years, a great famine will begin, causing drought and starvation. To prepare for that, Joseph then recommended that the Pharaoh put away and store 1/5 of everything gained for each of those bountiful 7 years. By taking heed to the warning, the land was saved in the drought season, and even had enough to help other nations that paid them in return. The moral lesson is simple. Save a substantial amount of money after every paycheck to create a buffer for emergencies. While you can always save more, you can start with a healthy 20% and put it in a high-interest savings account to make your money work for you. Number 4. Make good investments and build wealth. One of the best reasons why you need to save money is that it gives you the room to make healthy investments over time. A lot of us spend hundreds of dollars on coffee, takeout, and gym memberships, which we never take advantage of. If you fall into any of these categories, why don't you save up and invest it in the stock market or passively in dividend investing? In no time, your money is going to compound, laying the foundation of wealth. The Bible says in Proverbs 13:22 that a good man leaves an inheritance to his children's children. If you don't build wealth, how are you going to leave an inheritance? Number 5. Avoid get-rich-quick schemes. While we admit that building wealth from scratch is a lot harder than it sounds, never make the mistake of falling into the trap of get-rich-quick schemes and Ponzi's. It's not financially smart, and secondly, it will get you wrecked. Despite the Bible being written centuries ago, it still frowns on the concept of these schemes, telling us not to meddle with them. That said, it makes a lot of sense why people end up losing lots of money on Ponzi's. The book of Proverbs 28:20 gives us a stern warning. He who hastens to be rich will not go unpunished. Number 6. Manage investments wisely. This brings us to the next point, making healthy investments. The Bible talks about keeping a close eye on your flocks and herds, which are equivalent to contemporary investment practices like real estate, rental properties, stocks, or even cryptocurrency. In a nutshell, this lesson cautions us to always be vigilant and actively alert while managing our investments. Don't listen to the crowd and invest based on hearsay. Do your homework, do your diligence, and always make sure you are making the right investments. Taking our last point into consideration, make sure you avoid things that look too good to be true and look ahead to the future. If your investment doesn't have a clear-cut structure that's still going to make you money years from now, why bother with it? Number 7. Seek wise counsel. One of the most underrated financial lessons of the Bible is being in the midst of smart people. Whenever you make a bad financial decision, the odds are that you are either impulsive or that you didn't think things through with wise counsel. If you want to make it in life, you have to be around others who have financial wisdom. From books to meetings, research, podcasts, or even open dialogue. There are handfuls of ways to brainstorm and gain insight on any financial decision you're set to make. Remember the popular saying that 2 heads are better than 1? Never hesitate to soak in knowledge from those who have succeeded in areas that you are going to be diving into. Number 8. Be frugal. Let's be honest with ourselves for a second. There is no way we're going to be able to save, make healthy investments, or live below what we've got if we're not frugal. The Bible tells us to adequately use everything we've got at our disposal, whether it's time or money. Instead of being greedy, Proverbs also guides us on the guide to think like ants, who always make do with what they have and are careful to watch out for the winter season. If you are a spendthrift, draw up a pros and cons list to adequately gauge your wants and needs. Identify the things you can do without and stop spending way too much on them. You'll be amazed by how much you've been flushing down the drain. Number 9. Avoid debt. One of the things that cripples people the most financially is debt. From credit card loans to student loans, millions of people around the world are unable to pay back the things they owe. Make no mistake, guys, debt can indeed ruin your life. Proverbs 22:7 tells us, "The rich rule over the poor, and the borrower is a slave to the tender." It couldn't be more true. When you take high-interest loans, you'll end up working really hard just to pay them off. Debt always mortgages the future. It will always come calling, and it will certainly lower your standard of living in the future where you can't pay it all off. Always do all you can to avoid this crippling situation. It can ruin your life. Number 10. Work hard for your money. Apart from being greedy, the Bible also preaches against being lazy. After all, if being lazy will never make you rich, why waste your time on it? If you want to make ends meet and build on it until you've created sustainable wealth, you'll have to work hard and persevere amidst the challenges. Take a look at this awesome verse from Proverbs 14:23. It says, "All hard work brings a profit, but mere talk leads only to poverty." No matter how you think about it, mankind was made to work. When he placed Adam and Eve in the garden, he told them to cultivate the earth and multiply. Number 11. Plan ahead for the future. Have you ever had to make an unexpected expense at home? From car repairs to new household equipment, unforeseen expenses can be totally annoying. But that's where financial planning comes into play. Anytime you don't create liquidity from short-term emergencies, have it all in the back of your mind that your financial foundation is built on sinking sand. Always have a solid emergency fund that can offer you a substantial buffer. Proverbs 6:6-8 states, "Go to the ant, you sluggard, observe its ways, and become wise. Without a leader, administrator, or ruler, it prepares its provisions in the summer. It gathers its food during harvest. If the ants fail to save for winter, they perish. Be like them. Always think ahead." Number 12. Set long-term goals. In addition to planning ahead, always make sure you have your eyes set on a long-term goal. It will give you a clear and viable roadmap for your financial journey, making you more disciplined, and help you prioritize saving and investing. Plus, it will enable you to consistently develop a smart financial habit that'll reduce your impulsive spending, contributing to financial stability and security over time. Let's say that you want to buy a car. When you put out a viable plan, you'll keep working towards it every day. Not setting goals leaves a lot of things to chance. Ignoring this lesson could leave your financial life without structure, and you've got to avoid this. Number 13, diversify your income. A lot of people are going to be surprised by this, but the Bible does talk about having multiple income streams. Ecclesiastes 11:2 says, "Invest in 7 ventures, yes, in 8, for you do not know what disaster may come upon the land." That's a pretty clear indication of how to make and manage your money. You've got to diversify your portfolio. Let's make things more practical. When you diversify your portfolio, you're not just putting your eggs in multiple baskets and making more money. You're also going to be protecting yourself in the event that your primary basket fails. While investing in real estate can be a wonderful way to make money, you've got to put your money in other areas. Think about stocks, think about dividends, and think about property rentals. You can't go wrong with multiple smart decisions. Number 14, don't worship money. While a lot of you must have heard that money is the root of all evil, have you ever given it a deeper thought? The Bible isn't telling you not to make money. It's rather a warning about the decisions you make to earn it. When you place a lot of emphasis on money and allow it to dictate your life, you're going to make a lot of terrible decisions in the long run. You won't even know when you'll be cheating customers by inflating your prices or banking on financial loopholes and blind spots to steal from your employers. When people in affluent positions take bribes, embezzle funds, and engage in corrupt practices, it comes from the fact that they worship money. Instead of being too money conscious, spend quality time with your family, build relationships, and soak up those warm moments. Money shouldn't come before humanity. Number 15, be generous. 2 Corinthians 9:7 says, "So let each one give as he pleases in his heart, not grudgingly or of necessity, for God loves a cheerful giver." Apart from the fact that offering a helping hand to others with our resources is nice and could actually save a life, this rule is the ultimate way to break the hold that money has over us. Just think about it. If you can't give money away, especially when you could offer to do so, don't you think that it has power over you? Look around you. There are people all over the world who are in debt, starving, feeling depressed, or looking for a way out. Instead of wasting money on things that you don't need, you can assist homeless shelters and orphanage homes. As a matter of fact, your very own next-door neighbor could also be in need. Giving something in sacrifice is the greatest show of love. Even God gave His Son. Number 16. In all your doings, seek wisdom. Remember how King Solomon had a dream where he spoke to God, who asked him about what he wanted? Instead of asking for riches, land, or all the worldly things he desired, Solomon asked for wisdom. He knew that that was the only way he was going to be a good king. Similar to the lesson of seeking counsel from those who are experts in a field you're considering, you've got to put time into study. If you're not smart, you'll never have vision. No matter how much you have, you'll never be able to manage your wealth properly. You'll just be a bad call away from wasting it all. Number 17. See opportunity where others see crisis. The book of Numbers tells us about how some Israelites were sent to scout the land of their adversaries and see if they could win the battle. After several days, they returned with all of the men frightened at the might and size of their opponents. Joshua and Caleb saw things differently. Instead of being afraid of these giants, they saw an amazing opportunity to conquer them. So what does this tell you? Always see opportunity when and where others see crisis. There are many things that humanity is plagued with. If you can solve one of these issues, you could be a billionaire. Also, let's not forget how next year is forecast to be a difficult year with inflation and rates rising. If the rich are going to maintain their status and even gain more, why shouldn't you? Number 18, be content. Another really underrated lesson in the Bible is contentment. Thousands of people spend money on worldly things that they don't need just because they're not content. If you're not financially buoyant, why buy another car that you don't even need? It's simply a waste of money. Face it, contentment is the answer to many financial problems. Some people even steal from others because they're not content with what they have. To curb this issue, you have to look inward and focus on things that are truly important. Number 19. Have a simple life and work. 1 Thessalonians 4:11 and 12 says, "You should mind your own business and work with your hands, so that your daily life may win the respect of outsiders, and that you will not be dependent on anybody." In line with being content, you have to let go of flashy, shallow lifestyles. Just take a look at Mark Zuckerberg, Bill Gates, Bernard Arnault, Elon Musk, and the like. Have you noticed how none of these great men waste their money on a bunch of irrelevant things? Despite being billionaires, they look like everyday people. Be simple. A flashy lifestyle will only make you eager to spend money and look expensive just to maintain your public image. Number 20. Do not cosign. Proverbs 11:15 says, "Whoever puts up security for a stranger will surely suffer, but whoever refuses to shake hands and pledge is safe." This gives us insight into the dangers of co-signing loans. Apart from the fact that it could break relationships, co-signing comes with a lot of consequences. You'll have to pay up the full amount of debt and sometimes even pay additional late fees or collection costs. Don't you think it's a needless risk that you shouldn't even be considering? Number 21. Stop gambling. One of the issues that is crippling people's finances is the age-old problem of gambling addiction. While making multiples of your stake in seconds can sound really juicy, don't forget that it could cost you a whole lot more than what you're bargaining for. Remember how Proverbs tells us that wealth gained hastily will dwindle? Realistically, the odds aren't in your favor. Wasting your money on gambling instead of making smart investments will never make you wealthy. Number 22. Build communities. You know how the Bible tells us to give a helping hand? When applied, lots of amazing doors could be opened. Whenever you help others grow, you're building a close-knit, intimate community that could help you in the future. Some Jewish people and Christians practice this. Instead of being greedy and hoarding wealth alone, they build up their friends and communities to create amazing networks and connections that could also help them make money in the future. Think of it as a healthy long-term investment. Number 23. Make a financial plan. Do you remember one of our earlier points on making financial plans for the future? This lesson is about the present. Proverbs 21:5 says, "The plans of the diligent lead to profit as surely as haste leads to poverty." Believe it or not, making robust financial plans for the present lays the groundwork for future wealth. Never fail to be disciplined when it comes to managing your money and have plans on how your paycheck could diligently lead to profit. Number 24. Reduce risk as you age. Ecclesiastes 5 tells us how a father's poor investment left his son with nothing. In our never-ending strive to create wealth by having investments, always remember that risky financial choices not only jeopardize inheritances, but could also threaten your own retirement savings. With the potential for a 20-year retirement, financial speculation in your 60s risks compromising the funds needed for a secure future. To safeguard retirement and leave an inheritance for your kids, reduce the way you take financial risks. Number 25. Don't stop making money. Don't take the previous point the wrong way. While managing risk in investments is crucial, increasing income is crucial for your financial well-being. A higher income increases your chances of retiring early and enjoying a comfortable retirement while you're at it. In order not to confuse you, let's look for a healthy balance that sums up both lessons. Always balance risk mitigation with efforts to continually make more money.